Everybody at Crunch, they're on TikTok right now, scrolling. They're scrolling, not worried about their time. They're going to be on TikTok for the next 2 minutes, and then they're going to just grab a random weight. And they're going to lift for about 20 seconds, and then they're going to scroll again. You can't get results that way. Here we go. You can't get results when you're on the talk like that. You can't be on the clock and be on the talk. Now, I'm going to today go over what I'm going to call the Weekly Crunch Chronicles. And this is my experience at Crunch Gym, watching people, not like a creep, but watching people to see what people are doing and try to use this information because most of you are probably doing the same thing and you don't actually realize it. So what I did was I was watching people in each set and I took multiple people and I averaged out how much time they were under tension for and then what their average rest periods were as well. And the numbers that I came up with were pretty interesting. So this week, in this week's Weekly Crunch Chronicles, we had an average set duration of 22 seconds per set. So if you take this and you apply it with what we're gonna do today, that would be 5.5 minutes of time under tension in one workout. Their average rest period was 1 minute and 50 seconds. So they were under load for 22 seconds. They were resting for almost 2 minutes. And they were working out for around 30 minutes to an hour. So compare this to what we're gonna do today. So this is a workout at Crunch Gym with you got this big ass gym with all this equipment and all these resources, right? What we're gonna do today is gonna be all dumbbells. And we're gonna go 15 sets, 1 minute time under tension, mixing up joint angles for your chest with a minute of rest. And so what that's gonna be is it's gonna be about a 30-minute workout, okay? So in 30 minutes today, we're gonna be under tension for 15 minutes. So let's compare that to our Crunch Chronicles. These people were under load for 5.5 minutes. We're gonna be under load for 15 minutes. And our average rest is gonna be 15 minutes because it's 1 minute on, 1 minute off. They were resting for, I'll put it over here. They were resting for almost 30 minutes. They were resting for 27 minutes, and we're gonna be resting for 15. So ours is a 30-minute workout. Theirs was 32 minutes. We're gonna be under load for 15. They were under load for 5. Our rest period is gonna be 15. They were resting for about 27 minutes. Now, why does this matter? Because if you look at this in one workout, is it a big deal? Maybe, but really not. But let's do what I've been talking about and let's look at this and zoom out and look at this, how this would affect your long-term workout results over the period of a year. So if we follow this through in a year, the weekly time under tension difference between what we're gonna do today, which is a very minimal workout, would be us under load for 75 minutes, the people at Crunch under load for 28 minutes. This means that we are going to be under load for 46 minutes more during the week. Now remember, this is under load. This isn't a longer workout. Our workout is actually shorter. Shorter workouts, under load 46 minutes longer than what they're under load for. We're under load, our difference is higher than what they're under load total in 1 week. Now, if you take that into a year, that is 65 hours of time under tension for us, and that is 25 hours for them. That's a 40-hour difference. Once again, this is under load. That's crazy. 40 doesn't sound like a huge number to realize it's freaking under load. Now, you tell me that this stuff doesn't matter. Because when you zoom in, you don't see it. But when you zoom out, you do see it. This stuff does matter. Now you take that in 1 year and then you go to 2 years and then you go to 3 years and then 4 years and all these things add up. So it's like Gerald on Instagram sent me a message today, and what he said was, so I put something like this on my Instagram and he commented and said that he would take what I said a step further, which was mentioning some of this. And he said that most people who do sloppy technique and low time under tension with lower efforts, they don't know that they're doing this. They're just going through the motions. And what Gerald said was, I was one of them until I started listening to what you're saying. Now, here's the thing. This is 80% of you are Gerald. And I know that. That's why I'm talking about this. It's not to say, you guys don't know what you're doing. It's to say you're not paying attention. It's about paying attention. And that's what I'm here to do, is bring this under your attention. And here's the crazy part. These guys are resting for 1:50 after they're under load for 22 seconds. Why? Because they're scrolling their phone. They're lost in the moment. They're not thinking about, let's get in here, let's do our thing, let's be focused, and let's get out. They're not paying attention, and honestly, you're just kind of wasting your time. It doesn't mean you can't get results this way, but if you want to maximize your benefits, you've got to start paying attention, and that's why I'm here. And there's not a lot of people talking about this, and it's because most people aren't paying attention. And at the end of the day, I really do care about you, and I do care about your results and taking you where you want to go, which is why I take the time to point these things out, because they are a big deal. I hope you found this beneficial. If you did, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you for the next workout.